I don't think there's ever truly a way you can actually finish a conversation. I just think that there's so many things that you can say or could continue to talk about where I feel like even if you have to end a conversation, there's not really a true way to actually finish a conversation with somebody. And I think I've adopted this mindset for so long of trying to finish a conversation or trying to leave a conversation with saying the right things and adopting the right mindset of like, how can I end the conversation always feeling satisfied? And because of that, it has left me feeling uneasy and awkward at most times when I feel like I don't say everything correctly. And I kind of treat it like a constant state of performance, might you say. And there's just a beauty of just not finishing a conversation. I was getting some food, as a Texan would say, and get some Whataburger on Wednesday, and I went inside to get my food. And as I was walking out, I saw these two older guys who were in the store when I went in, and they went out and they were still talking after they finished their food at their cars. And I think there's just something so beautiful in still finding time to connect and talk. And even when you have to leave, when you're walking out after you just had a nice talk, you're still talking, trying to hold on to that conversation as long as you can. And there's just something so beautiful in conversation and trying to catch up and finish on things that you want to talk about. And even when they finish that conversation, there still will be more things to talk about. And I think I've always kind of felt like whenever I'm done talking, I kind of feel like it's the end. Like if they weren't ever to see me again or talk to me again, that would be it for me. And how I would feel about myself is just not good. I was like, I don't think I did enough, or I don't think I did well when I said this. Oh my God, I'm so awkward. I need to get out of here. Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. And I definitely think that I've overanalyzed myself in these moments and in these conversations where it's just unhealthy to do to myself. I think most of the time, like, I'm just in my head too much. I'm letting these little things get to my head when they're just not really that deep. And I definitely think that there are ways for me to improve, because I want to be better in socializing and connecting with other people. And so I can use those conversations and be like, okay, here's what I should do, or here's what I should talk about more. But to really kind of belittle myself in a sense that becomes really heavy at times, and it kind of hinders my confidence, that's when I have to be like, okay, let's not do this. I don't need to do this. You don't need to constantly, put yourself on a pedestal and try to make sure you have everything right, because I don't think there's a right way to say everything. I think there's, with your limited knowledge of the world and somebody else's limited knowledge of the world, there's gonna be some things you just don't know about. So whenever you say something, you might not know that this other person feels a certain way about something. There's so many different things and facets of the imagination that we just don't understand, and because of that, different ideas are going to clash, and that's what's so great. But for me, I focus on this idea of what's right, what's the right thing to say, how can I satisfy this conversation and keep it going in a way that doesn't involve my personality, but more so involves the ideas of keeping the other person satisfied, but within the general terms of keeping the conversation alive just for the sake of it. And there's been so many times where I need to leave a conversation or, get on with my day, go to sleep, and I'm still there. And I'm just like not doing anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just like my mind is telling me to leave, but I'm not leaving. And because of that, it really ruins the perfect time for me to actually leave the conversation, because there have been so many times where I can just walk away, or I can leave the conversation, but then I stay. And there's just times where you need to leave. Even if the conversation doesn't feel like it's finished, or if there's times where you feel like you need to say more, but maybe you just can't. Maybe you have to go to work the next day. Right? There's so many different things that come across our lives that will end conversations shorter than others with the same person. Some days we have a good conversation and we want to continue that the next day, and then they go on the next day, and then the other person doesn't feel that way. And there's an art to that. There's an art to that, really. It's just it's embracing and trying to enjoy those conversations when they happen, because it's not going to happen again. You can go through a similar conversation, but that one night that you had with your friends or with your significant other that you had a really good time with is once in a lifetime. And you could have tons of those once in a lifetime conversations, but for that specific day, That's what makes it super special. And I've tried to become at this the arts of conversing with such a logical mindset, as I would tell myself as a man, I'm the logical gender, and I need to make sure I'm analyzing myself properly and making sure I'm getting all the facts down, and I'm making sure that I'm logically excuse me, I'm speaking too fast. That's my problem. I'm trying to analyze myself too quickly and too harshly, and thinking that that's my logic, that this is the right and wrongs of conversation, when there really isn't a specific rules or guidelines to follow. I think it's more so just a clash of personalities per se, and trying to learn about the other person. Obviously there are rules. Obviously you don't want to say some horrific thing on the first date or something like that, right? There's general rules in conversation, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I have set like a guidelines and rules and these things I should follow within myself that just aren't helpful. They're more harmful than helping out. And I think we can tend to do that to ourselves when we experience things. I do a job within customer service per se. I'm not going to reveal my job, but I do customer service for the most part. So I talk to a lot of people, and there's been so many times where I feel like I don't say the right things, or sometimes where I do feel like I do good in conversation, and then I see that same person the next week, and then I just feel indifferent about it. I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk anymore? Sometimes we don't have to talk, There's an art in silence. And sometimes you need to find some people who you can enjoy this silence with. And there's a lot of times where I feel like when I'm in silence, I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I need to be talking more. And that's like one of the worst feelings I can experience personally, is like when because I'm not like the most talkative person. It's more so like when I'm feeling I need to talk and then I just don't know what to say. Then I start saying like, oh, that sky looks really blue today. Dude, that cloud over there. And it seems very like just elementary. It just doesn't feel real, authentic. And that's kind of what I yearn for in terms of connection. And I'm not always going to find that with everybody. There are some people who I just don't get along with, and that's just how it is. You're not going to like everybody. You're actually, when I say you're not going to like everybody, you are going to find people who you hate. You might have a good reason for that. You might have a bad reason for it. But there are just some people in your life who you just can't stand. They just piss you off for some reason. So not everything that you come across when you're talking, you're going to enjoy, you're going to like. Some people you're not going to like. And then sometimes I'm just like, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Get out of my face. And we'll leave it at that. And that's how I finish a conversation, by not conversing with him in the first place. That's ideal sometimes. But yeah, I think it's my yap today, a little bit of a shorter yap about conversing. I think there's just so many different ways we can be harsh on ourselves and be mean to ourselves for trying to put on a performance in conversation. And I definitely struggle with a lot of different things when it comes to trying to become better socially, because I'm a very awkward guy. So that's what I've been trying to do with this YouTube stuff, is I've been trying to just do uncut, long, like close to 10-minute videos of me talking and seeing how I do. I think as of now, it looks like I still talk too fast. I get my words out and sometimes I kind of stutter. So trying to work on that, trying to become a better speaker, trying to make better points and communicate the ideas in my head, which is also another point, is we have so many thoughts in our heads, and sometimes we want to communicate all of them, but you really can't. It's quite literally impossible to communicate all of your ideas that consist within your mind to somebody. And sometimes you'll leave a conversation and be like, oh, I should have said that at this time, or I wish I could have brought this up. This would have made it so much better and would have been so funny. It's hard. Like really hard, because your mind has so many ideas. Your mind is so sexy and hot and creative. It comes with so many ideas, but sometimes they just can't get out, and you just can't let them all out. Sometimes you'll forget about it, and that's just part of the human experience. It's part of the human experience. I'm gonna watch this video, and I'm gonna be like, damn, I should have said this, or I said this wrong, or I did this. And I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with realizing that I could do better, and I could do things differently, and I could do things better. But instead of saying, I'm wrong for this, and I'm bad for this, and putting myself in a harmful state, I can say, oh, okay, I'll try and remember this next time and bring it up. And it's all about mindset. It's all about perception. Thank you guys for watching. This is a 3-day streak, I think, on my YouTube. I don't know how long I can keep this up for, guys. I'm at lunch right now on a Friday. I need to drink. It's been a long week. So thank you for watching.